What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Executive Geek Roundtable. I am here with my crazy crew, and as you can see, we are back in the library, and you are doing superhero poses because I did. All right,
superhero stuff.
Okay.
We love that here.
He's so happy.
Right?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mike back. Fuck, we ain't seen this dude in forever. You know, you got a camera right there you can wave at, right?
He's really committed, though.
I know he is. I mean,
it's like all wrestling, you gotta find a hard cam.
Yeah,
Because you can't be doing your swag like the camera down, you know.
That ain't even looking at you. Oh my God. Well, you guys, like I said, we are back. We are here with Bill and Julian and Mike and, of course, Sam.
Hi.
It's hard to just not love her. Because she always does like these little, just like adorable, awesome, badass things. Like, hi, I'm evil and creepy. Those, yeah, that's nice. But you guys, so since we are back, a lot of things the show is going to be changing this wonderful season because we are going to be getting right into main discussions and cool things and topics and games and all the fun things you guys know and love. But now, of course, as you can guys, I can't even speak right now. As you guys can actually see, we are at an actual round table. We will be getting an even bigger round table. What I might do is just keep getting like...
We have to kill like 500 more boars.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking about doing is getting like a table that's just like incrementally bigger. So every time they see the show, the table just keep growing and shit. Right?
You can't even see us. It's this big ass table.
You hear voices. You see arms reaching across the shit.
Mike's still far. I was playing Final Fantasy.
This is going to become the round table with random arms and voices.
You get like one of those little toys where they have the arms. That you can
Oh yeah.
Grab that shit from the middle. Oh my God. So, yeah, how have you guys been though? Like, what's been up? Good. So, like, what the hell have you been up to? Because you haven't been here in forever.
I've been, I've been doing a lot of like coaching Street Fighter actually lately. I've been like coaching people on Twitch and like just reaching out. People reach out to me on Twitter and stuff, and yeah, I give like free lessons for Street Fighter 5 and other things. Nerdy fighting game related, so yeah, it's cool. It's been therapeutic. I've been like trying to find my thing that I enjoy doing.
Where can they find you on Twitch, my dude?
You guys can find me at Aegis Neglector, all one word, and on Twitch it is Aegis_Neglector. So,
Okay. No. What you been up to?
I have been kind of nonstop making music lately.
Okay. I've been seeing that, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you've been putting in some serious work.
It's actually it's been going well. I mean, it's a slow grind when you start out, but I think I've been going since like mid-September. I think I've already got like 20 songs in.
Damn! Yeah, all right, bro.
Doing work.
Dude, you just in the lab.
Well, I have to be because I gotta make that money long.
Yeah,
because it ain't right now, y'all.
I love
but
that.
It's about to be though.
Okay,
there we go.
But it's about putting in.
Add yourself.
Oh, yes.
Really? So I'll follow you on Twitch.
See, yeah, we're actually doing just social media connections right here on the show.
You gotta be about the life. It's like, I'll follow him one day. Well, just follow it. Just do it. I'm like, that sounds cool. I like Street Fighter. I'm gonna do it.
The ghettoest shit I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know. But
right.
What you been up to anyway, Bill?
Oh, well, just doing some hood rat thing with my friends. You know how it is. But, no, man, actually, lately, between little voiceover stuff, taking a lot of classes now. Like, I was trying to get a little better and better. Because a lot of folk, especially that I know, like, name of anybody, was like, I'm the best at this. Go. I'm like, all right, you know what? I want to learn how to do this.
Okay.
Get better at it. You know, see, I think I probably can push this limit a little bit here.
I heard that.
And working on that. And actually, I actually started Twitching myself.
Yeah.
That's right. You can follow myself. It's Bill Butts, Bill_Butts, right there.
Hi, underscore brothers right here.
Damn right.
Appreciate that.
Y'all only underscores because other important people got it first.
I know.
Oh,
there's only one.
Brad Pitt somewhere has like the actual Aegis Neglector account. He's streaming like beat production, so Julian can't get any hits.
That's all right. I got Julian Smith TV on Twitch.
Exactly.
I slept on
That's
it.
actually
It's like Julius Smith. But
oh,
he's a black kid too. Another African owned by me.
Oh my God. On that note, what you been up to lately, my love? What's up?
When I'm not ghostwriting, I'm just doing the actor's hustle.
Hey,
get it, queen.
Get that money, girl. Get that money. Okay. people. Any
How about
weird-
your social media?
Yeah.
Sorry, what about yours?
Well, I'm on Instagram at
Yeah.
sroads. That's RODES, not like Rhode Island roads.
Spell it right,
13.
suckers.
So sroads13 on Instagram.
Nice.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know any weird stories this week before we get into our main topic of the day. Anything weird happen to anybody? There's
I
pretty
mean,
normal
nothing
week for everybody.
cool weird. Just
Hold on.
like,
Something's gonna happen like today because I got like a message on my phone like before this thing started. It just showed up the package.
Mm-hmm.
I keep seeing this shit on the internet about like this black charcoal toothpaste thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to know. So it was like $15 on Amazon. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Bye.
Make a video, dude.
Are we doing it?
Here
I'll
for
do this
your
live.
Those are
I'll do
really
this live. I'm gonna
abrasive.
tag you and
Yeah.
like Jarrell. We doing this
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Get your ass over here. I'd be like, oh, it tastes like booty, but my teeth feel so good.
Who's done it? Like, I haven't done that yet.
No,
I haven't done it.
careful.
You do with me?
Oh,
Careful.
God.
You do with me?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we gotta make a video of you two.
Oh, we doing it.
that. Y'all,
He's
we
like,
gotta see a video of
YouTube.
you
It
doing
looks
that. Yeah.
He's
Y'all
like,
gonna do it first.
No.
My black ass ain't gonna be the first one to do it.
I'm straight with my bacon, soda, arm, and hammer shit. Okay, I'm straight with that.
He
I
old
use
school
that
with
one.
it.
I use that one.
Rinse it out with some peroxide, let it in, but don't swallow it. Don't swallow it.
Don't do that. Don't do
Oh
that.
God! Well, since y'all ain't got no weird stories, I got a weird story this week. Is I tend to run into some of the strangest people while I'm in public, and it's
I'm never in public.
asshole. So what ended up happening this week was I was out shopping because, as you guys know, I just had a kid. So
Congratulations.
thank you very much.
Okay.
So I was out
Achievement
getting
on that.
things for the kid at the store, and I have this weird thing with my radar to where I'm always unintentionally keying in on conversations. Not trying to be nosy, I just kind of hear random things, and I go, huh, all right. Probably shouldn't be talking about that out in public, but not my business.
Right.
You know? So
I wish I hadn't heard that.
exactly. So I'm buying things for the house, getting food, and I just hear this girl behind me talking with this older gentleman. And she's just like, yeah, I see that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. He's like, all right, baby. I'm like, okay, all right, well, all right. He a little sweet. That's fine. Do your thing. Because he can be like her grandpa or whatever.
Okay.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, they having like a real adult conversation, but not my business. And so then, as I hear them getting closer, she then utters, well, he's a little too well groomed for me. I like him a little bit more rough and stuff. And without skipping the beat, the older gentleman was like, I'll take that baby seal all day, baby. And I stopped. Because now I realize they're talking about me. And I turn around and I go, hi? And he's looking at me just like, and she just, and I just fall out laughing because I'm like, you know what? I could be embarrassed, I could be offended, but I have never in my life been called a baby seal. So I was like, should I be honored that someone called me a smooth
That's
baby
a new
seal?
one. That's a new one.
That's
I've
your
never
new
heard that.
nickname. You know this, right?
It's a smooth baby seal.
Seal has-
Just-
I'm
Baby
gonna
seal has,
marry
like,
shit
entered
up.
the-
Hey, baby seal. Baby seal.
Because he was like, I'll take that smooth baby seal. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, so my question is, was he talking about the animal, or was he talking about actual seal?
You know what? I don't think I would have wanted to know. Because, look, it's some dark alleys you don't walk down. Okay? Because you
Sure you're
just,
right.
because you may not come out on the other end. Or if you do,
Yeah,
it
man.
won't be the same. So, yeah, so that was my weird story. For
What
the
store
week.
was this at?
I was at Walmart, of course.
Oh, of
See,
course.
of course I was at Walmart.
Of course it was Walmart.
I was at Walmart. And, it just,
Walmart.
and that's another reason why I wasn't too surprised, because I was like, I'm at Walmart. This shit happens at Walmart. This is why you should keep going to Target, but I'll save money.
It depends on the
Save
Target
money.
too. There's some
No, I've
there's some
seen
crazy
some
Targets.
I saw one
Yeah.
guy at Target. We were waiting in line. You know how, like, for a while the trend was in where you had to wear your pants all the way down?
Oh,
This
God.
guy's pants were so down that even his underwear was down that he mooned everyone.
Oh no.
Why?
This is why I go to
I'm
Costco.
laughing, but at the same time I'm like,
The
do
yo
you not
ass.
realize it? Like, you did not feel a
Everybody.
breeze around there?
It might have been like a stylistic choice though too. Perhaps like maybe he had like a wound or something. He was trying to like air the wound.
Where?
Maybe I don't know. Like
It's
in
his butt
his
showing.
asshole region.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, since we're talking about Disney and shit,
And shit.
Yes.
and shit, exactly. Apparently, Winifred the feces. I don't know. This is what happens. I don't know how we get here, but we're here now.
You know how we get here.
You know what this was, Jarrell?
I know, right?
You drove just like we did.
Try to get over here, you big old beautiful baby Theo.
Oh, it's sticking now.
You know what you did.
I walked all the way.
You know you done
to
fucked
that
up,
one.
right?
I'm not even gonna lie. I just walked all the way. To that. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Get moist.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's enjoy this.
Hey, Jarrell.
No.
Sorry.
What?
Let's see here. What does a Tupperware and a walrus have in common?
I don't want to talk to you
They're
right
both
now.
looking for a tight seal.
That's gonna be the whole episode.
I don't know what to do. I need an adult.
Jarrell, you been kissed by a rose lately?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this week on this episode, I can't with none of y'all. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Damn. I need a
They
minute.
got them all
Hold
fucked up, man.
on. I need a
They got them
minute.
all fucked up.
Not you when you're hungry.
I need a minute. Oh Jesus. So last week we were testing out the show, and our lovely, lovely host here, Sam, came up with one of the most random questions about a Disney villain.
It was awesome.
It was.
great.
It sparked an incredibly deep, dark, and disgusting conversation. You know, see that triple D right there? Yeah, got that triple D. You want that D girl anyway? No, I'm not even gonna start because y'all gonna start. No, I'm fucking.
We gonna
Don't say
I know.
yes.
Y'all gonna do. So anyway,
know that fam.
right? So I decided actually this past week I was thinking a lot about Disney villains, and now being an adult watching Disney films, you begin to look at the villains a lot differently. And with many of the films now, I agree with them motherfuckers, especially when you start looking at the backstory of what their duties are and what their motivations are. And I picked out a few for myself, like I picked out Gaston, Maleficent, Shere Khan, Scar, Ursula, and Hades.
Gaston's a good one. Oh, Hades is a good one.
Yeah.
80s, yes.
Yeah.
His son was a dick, but he really
Well,
wasn't that bad
was
for the
it
time.
not only not that bad, it's like you have to look at the situation. It's like, first of all, you have a dude in 14th century France, who is basically a badass in his town.
Yep.
And not only is he a badass in his town, this guy, he's good at what he does. What is his job? He's the town hunter and protector. That's what his job is. And they're like, he's a chauvinist, he's a pig, he's arrogant. He's French! He's, first of all, French!
Let's get that
Secondly,
out there.
14th
century French.
With
Like-
a name like Gaston.
Gaston.
He's 14th century French.
Yeah.
You can go to France now in 2018 and meet a couple of Gastons.
Yep.
Okay? So, it's like you look at the time period, it's like, well, of course he was that way. Do you know the time and place? And then you look at his occupation as a hunter. You look at the songs. I use antlers in all of my decorating. This is what he does for a living.
That's what he do, man.
He hunts.
Machismo's kind of
He
like
protects.
his modus operandi.
It's what he does. And then when you start looking at a lot of the things around the town of, okay, when you look at 14th century France, there was something, and I'm going to fuck up the French name for it. It's called Le Cher le Wolf, which I think was translated to like the time of the wolf. And the time of the wolf basically was a period in France where everyone pretty much was getting killed by wolves. You had about 2 or 3 deaths per week. So people like Gaston actually got hired to basically be the town protectors. That was their jobs. Like a wolf or a beast came, they killed him.
And the wolf.
Exactly. And then they hung them up as trophies, and they got all the money, all the women, all the jewels, all the everything because they were the shit.
Right.
And so when you look at the story and you got this crazy ass old man with his really off-kilter daughter, because you look at 14th century France, there weren't many women out there that were smart, educated, independent, and adventurous. Most of them were, I hate to say it, dingbats. And you got this one woman that...
You speaking from experience. You some kind of time traveler. You from 14th century France?
Time wizard.
Oh,
No,
Lord,
I'm the time of
said
baby
too
seal.
much.
The time of
Oh.
baby.
He
But
said it.
right, I did. I put that on myself. But yeah, I mean, you look at that, and then you have a lady who is basically unattainable by Gaston.
Mhm.
He has every woman that he wants, but it's this one woman he can't get.
He don't like
And his whole thing is like, and we look at the whole machismo, old school way of men getting women. What do? They have to conquer that. They have to get a woman as a trophy. That's his trophy. And so then what happens? Her crazy ass dad gets kidnapped. Then she gets kidnapped. He goes to say, well, I gotta go save my future woman. And what does he run into? A 12-foot ass talking beast.
Yeah, he was tall.
Talking
He was
beast.
tall and talking.
And so if you're Gaston, he's like, he got two sides of his brain. He's like, first of all, I ain't never seen this shit before.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. But at the same time, he's like, but this is my job, though.
Yo.
This is my reputation. Plus, I ain't never seen no shit like this before. This thing gotta go now.
And by go, I mean on my mantle.
Exactly. So it's
Today,
like,
not today.
when he first meets the beast, what does the beast do? He yells at him in a rage. So you the protector of the town, everyone looking at you to protect all of us, and we hear rumors of this beast kidnap these people.
You best be handling this shit. What we hiring your ass? Fuck.
You got a 12-foot, in his sense,
You gotta
demon
get you a
thrown
12-foot
at you. It's like,
gun.
not today, Satan.
Right.
Maybe literally.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be honest, I look at him like, I don't really see him as the bad guy. This is the nigga that had a job to do, and then he sees part of his job he did not sign up for. Okay? He was like, this was not in my work description, but there ain't nobody else that can do this shit as good as I do.
Right.
True.
I'm the toughest
It
motherfucker
also
around
ain't his
here.
job
He's
to
like,
get
y'all
you
heard the
nice.
song?
Exactly.
Y'all heard the song?
No? He's like, I'm the toughest motherfucker in town.
I'm roughly the size of a barge.
I'm bad.
Yeah, you
I'm
know?
the baddest motherfucker.
And so, yeah, so, I mean, with that, like, what do you guys' take on it? Just thinking about it from those perspectives.
I feel like he's kind of just like, he's only a villain because of the time and place in which we're watching the story.
Yeah.
Because if you frame this based upon, the time and place in which the story takes place, it's just Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
very much.
I mean, but I feel like I feel that way about a lot of, movies and stories in general, but definitely Disney. I feel like it's just kind of like outside looking in,
Yeah, very,
Well,
very
that's
much.
just really not nice of him to be that way. Well, it's also very much nice of him to not let all these people get kidnapped and or killed.
Just like,
If you were in this town, how would you feel? If you just like, we'll just leave him be and he won't hurt us.
yeah.
The thing that kills me though, because like you watch it again as a grown-ass man, all these girls are so about him, but he's only pursuing Belle.
Yeah.
Cause he can get off.
Yeah, right? Because like
She's a challenge.
yeah, because once she's a challenge too, it's like that's the other half of this man. It's like he
Yeah.
may be big and stupid, but she's like smart, intellectual, and like look at
Yeah.
that, like
Him,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's like wait, she said no, huh? And then like that, she's like she's what you're not, and
Yeah.
you are what she's not,
Yeah.
and she's now been kidnapped by 12-foot demon. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let me start out on Beast either though, because like what is it? I was looking at the actual story for that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That dude got, pardon my French, he got fucked.
But he also was an asshole too, though.
Yeah, he was definitely
hold
an
on.
asshole.
He was
Hold
an
on.
asshole.
You're a child, and
You're a child.
You're a child. A grotesque witch pops up in the middle of the night, banging on your door. You get freaked out. It's like, also, I'm actually beautiful. I'm sorry I scared you, but now you're a horrible beast, and after all your friends are utensils. That's literally what happened.
Well, I want to know why
So
the fuck was
grew
he answering the door? Don't you have to help with that shit?
Where's your goddamn parents?
Where's your friendly ass butler that's just like,
Oh, come on in. You're no problem. I'll bring you in, drink some soup, and we'll send you on your way. I'm so sorry.
hey, who the fuck downstairs?
No, nobody. Never mind. It's fine. Don't. It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Make
Beauty
that
and Beast as told by.
I hate this because the Emma Watson version changes everything. There's no knocking. He opens the door.
Yeah.
The witch just shows up in the middle of the ball, crashes the party.
Yeah, that's
Really?
true. Yeah.
She just shows up during like the dance and they're singing. She's there. going up to him, and because he turns her away, then she curses him, and it's like everyone else, you get screwed over too. You know, they didn't
Basically,
pass
she's just like,
judgment.
I'm in a rage because I'm mad at her. I didn't get no dick, so I'm mad. It's like, wait, bitch, hold on. I ain't even a part of this. I work here. I don't know this nigga.
That's what they did in the new
And
one?
then the same thing with Gaston. He's different in the new version, so he's no longer like the town hunter. He was fighting in the war.
Yeah.
Which war we don't know. But he was fighting in
You
the
know,
war.
the Great
War,
War.
and he's insane. Like he was
Well, if
gonna
it
leave
was 1400s,
Maurice.
it was probably
die.
the war with what's his name? It wasn't Henry the Fourth. It was Henry III.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, he was gonna also let Maurice die.
I think the writers really had to come up with a reason of why he was a bad guy, because I think that even the writers recognized, well, this Gaston dude really ain't that bad. Like, okay, he's been through some shit. He's a little bit of a dick, but we have to make him bad now, which also is another plot thing that I hate. It's like, okay, now you have to start creating things to make him bad,
Right.
just because you realize, well, the motherfucker's kind of right. You know, I mean, he's in a small town. They got small town problems, and this big ass thing comes along.
Castle you can see from the town center over there. Why there are always dark clouds over that place?
Exactly. And
Sunny
apparently
as
that
shit here.
and apparently that castle kidnaps motherfuckers and give them Stockholm syndrome. Then there's that.
It's really Charles Manson.
He's the real beast.
So yeah, like for me, things like that just kind of get in my head. Now moving on to one of my other very, very favorite villains is Shere Khan from the Jungle Book.
Oh.
I look at him as probably the most misunderstood, although people should understand his character, because with me, of course, with 90% of the Disney movies, they all come from, original stories. As we know that Kipling, he was the one who originally wrote the Jungle Book, but he also, a lot of people didn't realize he wrote anthologies for all the specific characters, and they all had these
Really?
long, deep-ass backstories.
I did not know that either.
More
I didn't know.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. And Shere Khan's story was a really fucking sad story. Like, after reading his backstory, you found out why he hates men and why he hates humans.
That's right. I
Because-
couldn't remember what.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hates just humans. Period.
Yeah,
Right? Okay.
they touched on it very briefly in the live action remake, and they actually gave him the proper scar that he was supposed to have, because what you end up learning about Shere Khan is that he got that scar because there were a group of poachers that basically killed his entire family when he was a cub.
Oh.
Then, when he was an adult, his family, his wife, basically, and his other little cubs got killed by another group of poachers. But this was the twist. The leader of the poachers was Mowgli's dad.
Oh no!
And so you get that,
I did not know that.
I didn't know any
like,
of this.
yeah, it adds that extra, oh shit. So you begin to understand why he hates Mowgli and hates men so much. Because it's just, you go, oh, I understand, bro. And that kind of really explained his background and story, which made a lot of sense to me. Because I was just like, well, I would hate them motherfuckers too. I mean, they killed both my families? Like, think about that. You get this two-legged, hairless motherfucker that come in here, and his daddy is responsible for killing your new family.
And I'm just supposed to be cool with this dude?
And that's and that's the thing that really gets me. Everybody else in the jungle is cool with this little boy, except for him, and they make him think like he crazy. And I think that's nothing that pissed him off. He's like, okay, motherfuckers, check this out. They've burned our jungle. They've killed a lot of us. They've killed all of me. And all y'all just happy?
Y'all just dancing. Y'all just dancing, just have a good time.
Singing
huh?
songs.
Yeah.
They're wearing Chris.
Right? You know? Like, I'm supposed to just be happy about the shit? Like,
I'm the only woke motherfucker out there.
exactly. He said, motherfucker, look at the village. They got a tiger rug. Like, and when you think about it from that standpoint, you go, yeah, that make a lot of fucking sense. Like, shit, I'm on your side. Eat the boy. Like,
And of course, they don't they don't convey it that way in a Disney cartoon,
Well,
which is
again,
like,
in the new one, he almost burned the place down.
think about it. In the new one, what did Mowgli end up doing? Damn near set the whole fucking jungle on fire. Thus proving Shere Khan right. I was like, This is why he hates y'all.
He's like, nobody's listening.
He's like, y'all motherfuckers. You know what? Y'all deal with this shit.
Exactly.
He's sitting in the corner sipping tea.
Exactly.
Well,
See the
that's
fire?
none of my
Y'all, I
business.
told you.
Exactly. Like, you see the fire? Told y'all. Y'all thought I was lying. Look at this red fire here.
Getting ready like for the call, like, oh, anytime now.
Yeah,
right.
We good. We good.
He'll come and get it. You come get it, Baloo. Come get it.
Come get your boy, man.
Give me red,
Yep.
man's red flower. There's a lot of flowers here. Shit. Like,
Hero, you want some of this too? Come get him.
exactly. So yeah, shit like that just really it made me kind of think of why these villains to me have always been way more interesting. Like again, last night I was also watching Black Panther again, and you know, Killmonger just being such not only a compelling villain, he's just a compelling character because there's many ways that I still don't really see him as the villain. You know, he's just an antagonist because I always tell people an antagonist isn't necessarily the bad guy or the bad girl. They just have opposing ways of pretty much trying to get to the same goal as a protagonist. You know, and when you look at Killmonger versus T'Challa, you have a man who wants ultimately the same thing. He wants peace, but he wants it through order and domination. One wants peace through hiding and I don't want to say subjugation, but just not getting involved. You know, and so they're just like, well, we both want this, but we're going across it different ways.
Yeah.
And that's looking at it in a crazy way. It's like, yeah, this is why these villains are so compelling, and that like leads me to my next one of Maleficent. Like, probably one of the most misunderstood villains in Disney history, mainly because when you look at her backstory, talk about woman fucking scorned.
That's a Sleeping Beauty, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like she has such a dynamic story of what happened to her before all of this shit even happened. Especially since a lot of people don't realize that Sleeping Beauty was supposed to be her goddaughter.
Really?
Like they played that a lot in the live action film a little bit, but the King and Maleficent were like childhood friends. They were really, really close. They were really, really close. You know, they would play all the time. And the movie changed it a little bit when they did the kind of like pseudo rape scene where he stole her wings. But what actually ended up happening is when the king got older in the original story, he basically called the armies out to attack her entire family. Didn't tell her. Yeah, he got pressured by his dad, but he didn't tell his best friend. And he always said, if I have a child, she'll end up being your goddaughter because I want you to be able to help raise her. Well, attacks the family, kills family and shit, grows older, basically ousts her, and basically forgets she ever exists.
Dang.
And ends up taking away a lot of her power just because Maleficent's power was based on a lot of kind of her emotional state and her connection to other people. When she lost a lot of that connection, she lost a lot of her power, although she was pretty much powerful as fuck.
Was she always powerful? Like
Yes.
she was always like a sorceress?
She wasn't a sorceress per se. She was just more kind of like a wizard.
I see.
You know, she became a sorceress when she became evil. I don't look at her as evil. I just say she was pissed the fuck off. Yeah. And that's why when they when they had the coronation, that's why she came and crashed that shit because she actually had a right to be there.
Yeah.
You know, she had a right to be there for her godchild. And when you look at Maleficent, you look at a story of someone who basically spent. I mean, just imagine you go your entire life with your best friend. Y'all motherfuckers, 2 peas in a goddamn pod, getting along, having fun, happy and shit. You older, you know, about your teenage years and shit. This motherfucker just bounces randomly, don't say shit to you. You wonder where the fuck he go. But all of a sudden, his people come back and kill your family. And all of a sudden, sorry, we ain't friends no more. By the way, you know, remember I said I was going to have a daughter? Yeah, I'm getting ready to have one. You can't be the godmother. Peace. Right? Bye. And you like...
Fuck like that, huh?
Why? You know, and that was kind of the whole thing. And I like how the live action film touched a lot on that story and that dynamic of this was a person that was done wrong.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's evil to a certain extent, but like, what would you do if somebody fuck up all your shit?
So, just a real quick sidebar to this.
Yeah.
So, I always kind of understand this. Like, they're breaking down these stories now, but obviously the cartoons didn't go into that kind of detail.
Of course.
I kind of wonder how different, like, what kind of impact these stories would have if they actually did expound on why the villains in these stories are the way they are and do the things that they do.
Yeah.
Well, I have a direct answer for that. all of these stories come from the original stories, which were told by German and Swiss. Some were by the what's the brothers?
Brothers Grimm.
Brothers Grimm, and there's another set of brothers that all these stories basically come from, like Cinderella, Snow White, blah blah blah. Pretty much all those stories are very fucked up. None of them really end happily, especially goddamn
Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, that's Hans Christian Andersen.
Woo! Little Mermaid is goddamn horror story. I was like, everybody just fucked up. Anyways, but the thing is, like, the way that all these stories are told, especially if you are not from America, basically, and you read these stories, you go, yeah, I agree with this person because I know what this story is like, or I agree with that person. So it's like there is an audience of people that get it, and one thing that Disney has done in the last couple of years, they haven't obviously told the real full stories because they're still Disney, if they're going to be Disney, but they've started to kind of pay more respect to the original stories and lay in some groundwork of this shit kind of was important that y'all need to know of why these people were this way.
Well, because it's like in a lot of those cases too. It's like you're maybe like unjustly like vilifying somebody, and it's like well, like it's like if you just like there's an interest, not to get like too tangential here, but like anybody that's like a Dragon Ball fan, right? There's a lot of people that would argue that, like, yeah, right. There's a lot of people that would say, like, I mean, Raditz was the bad guy, but he was really just trying to show up and be like, yo, little brother, there's some like nasty folks coming. Let's have each other's back.
Exactly.
Right?
That's literally what he was doing. He was like, hey, shit's going down. We family. Get on the team.
Get on the team.
Get on the team.
Yep.
It was like, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like, well, right, but like, here's the thing, dude, is that like, I'm an earthling now.
Yeah.
I got friends and family and stuff. They're
I'm
like,
gonna take your baby, yoink.
we can't have that shit, dude. We gotta go. We gotta go now. It's like, I ain't got diapers and Pampers and shit. We gotta just go.
Second similar tangent, one of my favorite movies and monsters, well, I don't want to call him a monster, but one of my favorite creatures of all time is the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Gill Man.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he is living the rest of his lives as the last of his kind, alone in this lagoon, and then suddenly these strange creatures to him show up, and they start taking like plants out of the lagoon, out of the water. One of them drops a cigarette in there, and they poison the fish, his food supply.
Yeah.
And then they start attacking him. They shoot him with the gun. They try to harpoon him.
Like, you assholes couldn't just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Y'all don't understand me, so you're gonna try and kill me.
And then at the end of that movie, he supposedly dies until the sequels.
Yeah.
But you know, if
Came
we
back
just
like
had the
Godzilla.
one, we would have it where you killed him. Of course, in the sequels, it still gets worse.
Yeah.
Because in the second one, they kidnap him and they take him to an aquarium.
Yep.
And then in the third one, he has escaped and he's in the Everglades. They catch him. They set him on fire, and then they try to do this life-saving surgery on him. And they basically remove his ability to breathe underwater, and the movie ends with him basically committing suicide, going out into the sea, and we see him sink. And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And this was all in the 1950s.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That's some crazy stuff.
Well, but
Like, you still gotta go with like.
you ain't never saw the sequels, bro.
I didn't either.
Spoilers.
We ain't watch that shit. I get laughed at if I watch that shit.
Yeah. And that was a trilogy of films all
Yeah.
about this Gill Man. And
Yeah,
it was
That's
sad.
crazy.
And then you think from a standpoint of, well, goddamn, who the bad guy on that one then?
Right.
Like, it's like, well,
You
fuck,
guys are
bro.
shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I gotta go with Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Favorite still Piccolo, Junior.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's like, watch in. His dad evil as fuck. The last technical villain of the original Dragon Ball, relating into like this third season of Z. We watch Z. It's like, this guy's a dick. What's his first scene? You killed my dad.
Yeah.
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 I'm just saying.
And then you look at Piccolo, this dude is like the black foster dad of everybody in the fucking show. You know, and it's like, you wonder why he mad. It's like, I'm taking care of the kids of the motherfucker who killed my daddy.
Yeah.
And then his siblings come in and try to kill all of us. And then his people come here and continue
kill
to try to
me.
kill all of us.
Yeah.
And then kill me. And then it's like, but I'm still like, I got your boy though, bro.
Right. Don't worry about it. Go off and train and eat
Right?
ramen and
Yeah, and shit. It's like, and I still got your back. My next favorite villain, just because I actually talked to some of the writers on Lion King, both the old film and the new film about him, is Scar. And it was funny because I don't know, because they didn't tell me if they're going to play with it in a new film, but it was two things about the Lion King film that a lot of people didn't know. Number one, there was supposed to be a prequel film. Number one. Number two, there was a very significant reason why Scar was not king. And the thing about it is that the prequel film was going to show all about that. A lot of us already knew why he wasn't king, because a lot of people didn't really understand that he was the older brother. He was actually the older brother, you know, and he got that scar from their dad. Why he got that scar, does anyone know why?
No.
Take a wild guess.
Either
He was a
he
dick.
was too aggressive with one of, either you had to try to attack the father or attack his brother.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Something as real him having like trash or something like that, or
Anyone? He was gay.
Really?
Really?
He was gay.
Okay.
And if you watch the movie again, look at the song "Be Prepared." He has a lot of moments in there where he kind of shows it, where he's walking.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
just
That's what.
listen to teach. It's very subtle. It's very, very subtle, but you go, oh.
get
And
the fuck out.
I never
and
would
the
have
dad
guessed.
did
Yeah.
not want to have basically a gay son ruling the kingdom.
Dang.
And they
even
also,
in the jungle shit's
right?
weird, man.
Exactly. And they
Problems.
spoiled Mufasa ridiculously, also causing a further rift between them two, because what ended up happening was Mufasa got spoiled so much that when it came down to them deciding who was going to take over the king, and their dad knew that Scar was gay, they gave it to Mufasa, and then Scar ended up attacking his dad, and that's where he got his Scar.
Okay.
Because he had a
That part,
different
right.
name before it was Scar. I can't remember what the name. I have to go back and look at what they sent me, but he had a different name. And they were going to have a prequel film that was going to deal directly with all of
That's
their
some
child.
really heavy
I
shit.
thought
Yeah.
maybe he was like an illegitimate child because he
Something
doesn't
like that.
resemble Mufasa. And,
The thing is he looked just like their mother.
okay, I was gonna say
He looks
unless
just like their mother, and because the mom looked really different, because she was from basically she was from what was it? There's
Another
actually an
tribe?
actual clan in Africa that has a very specific name that's tied to them.
She was from the Binghamton Lions.
He's so stupid. And they have darker kind of reddish tint to their skin. And what ended up happening ultimately with the prequel film is that they were just like, this film is too dark. Like, we can try to add songs to it, we can try to lighten it up, but basically this film is about a dysfunctional family that ends up maiming their child with their homosexual son, that ends up causing a rift between the two brothers, and hi, we're happy now. And it's like, yeah, we can't really write ourselves out of that hole.
that's kind of interesting because I know there's a deleted scene where it almost sounded like he was trying to make some moves off of Simba's mom.
Well, the thing is those scenes were
They were cut out. Though.
not only they cut out, those scenes were trying to cover up kind of what was really going on, because there were a lot of political things going on in Disney at the time of, no, we can't have a homosexual character on screen like that, because it was something that was going to actually be played full on, because who was one of the artists and writers for Lion King? Anyone know? He also did Mulan. He also did Lilo and Stitch. He's a very, very famous gay guy.
I know who you're talking about though, and when you said that, it's like, oh yeah, that's right.
I'm actually forgetting
No,
his
name. I'm having a brain
I'm going to
fart.
look it up right now.
I do not know.
But if you
I am
look at
sorry.
all the films he's been involved in as a writer and as an artist, he always puts in that undertone of the odd man out, or even something sexual in it.
Didn't he also work on Beauty and the Beast as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's Chris Sanders.
That's it.
Chris Sanders. Chris Sanders was also one of the artists and writers on Lion King. And all of his movies, from Lilo, like I said, Lilo and Stitch to Mulan to Lion King to Brave, to all had something to do with kind of like being mistreated by your father and causing problems with my siblings because of my sexual orientation.
Really?
You know, and that's why, and with Lion King, he really wanted Scar to be representative of him, because Chris Sanders had gotten scarred by his dad emotionally. And that was going to be his way of saying, hey, Dad, I'm successful because I made this character about me. But it basically never came off.
No.
So when you start looking at the character of Scar, you go, yeah, I can kind of see. Because you were supposed to be the chosen one. You were supposed to be the rightful heir. And because of your orientation, your daddy not only fucked you over and treated your little brother better, but he permanently scarred you. Because that's also the thing about it is, being royalty, you can't have any type of physical blemishes. You know, that's looked at as being very dishonorable, and you're not royal. So then when that happens, that basically means it doesn't matter what, because usually what would happen, especially in lion prides, is if one didn't like the other, they would just kill him. And Scar was just going to take his brother out, so he'd have no choice but to be king. But by getting maimed, couldn't do shit. He was like, well, even if I take my brother out, I'm still not going to be king.
Well,
So,
that being
boom.
said, even though I feel very sorry for him for that case, though, it doesn't seem like he was going to even be a good king at that, because when he takes over,
Yeah,
right.
Well,
everyone's starving.
Well, I think it's one of those things to where you look at it as the things you do to your children and how it affects them later on in life.
It's just more backstory.
Yeah, because it's one of those things to where, well, what if his dad was more accepting and actually taught him how to be a better person?
Oh, okay.
He could have been a good king.
Yep.
You never know. But he was so fit with rage and so fit with I got fucked over so much.
Right.
By the time I get what I want, I'm just going the fuck off. Because what do spoiled asshole children do when
This
they get everything
sounds
they want?
awfully familiar.
45?
He orange too.
Yeah.
Sir,
Ironic,
sir,
ain't it?
sir, sir, don't insult Scar like that.
Oh, yeah, for real. Yeah, right? You right. You are right on that one. You know, so it really makes you think, well, goddamn. Fuck, Scar. I feel kind of bad for. I mean, you a dick still, you know, because still killing your brother is still a fucked up thing.
It does
Well,
make
yeah.
sense though.
Yeah.
Let's face it, like if your family fucked you over and your new family is hyenas, that's some vengeance right there. So you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna eat all of y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck your king up and do whatever we want.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what he did.
And that's why he became friends with hyenas, because who's the mortal enemy of lions? Hyenas.
Humans.
Yeah. Basically, humans. and so that made... Yeah, and that made it so interesting because it was like,
Harambe.
damn. Oh!
Dicks out.
Damn. What'd you say?
Dicks out for Harambe.
Dicks out for Harambe.
The internet says it's right.
We're
And
fact
so does
checking it
Butters.
right now.
Okay. Sidetrack. Y'all gotta tell me this story.
Bro, you have not seen
It's
that.
called the internet.
Dicks out for...
Dicks out, man.
Dicks out for Harambe.
For what?
You want to put my dick out?
What does it accomplish?
Everything.
Have
That
you
monkey
heard of
sacrificed
this?
so
No,
much.
it's the first time I've heard of this.
Oh my God. This
So, I mean,
was-
if I
My
whip my
innocent
dick out,
child.
Harambe would be
Dicks out
happy.
for Harambe lyrics.
Oh my God!
Oh,
What?
no!
How did we get here?
There's some sick people out there. Why?
What is happening, people?
Rocky Gold wrote a song called Dicks Out for Harambe.
What's the
It
name
was
of
a
Rocky
meme that
Gold?
became a song.
Yep.
How did we get here? Sam, help me.
And our next villain is.
On that note, thank you, Sam, for saving us.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our last two villains. One of my favorite, played by easily one of my top 5 actors of all times, James Woods, is Hades.
Ooh, man, I love Hades.
I am such a Hades fan, not only because I'm
yes.
such a Greek mythology buff, but also because it's James Woods.
Yeah.
James
And you
Woods.
can't hate him.
It even looks like James.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't hate James Woods for playing Hades. And then plus, if you know anything about Greek mythology, Hades just was the ultimate fucked over.
That's
He
so
got the
man.
scraps. He got the leftovers.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
They're like, hey, we're gonna do great up here, and
Right?
I'll tell you what. How about you?
Yeah.
You mine the underworld, and we'll take care of things up here.
That's almost literally how it was, because all the brothers in Olympus. First and foremost, Zeus is a dick. I'm gonna just say that Zeus has always been a dick. He is a lying, cheating, venereal disease giving,
Oh, yeah.
woman impregnating, war starting asshole. And I'm gonna just say that. Because and
If
this is
you
a person, you're right. This is a person who studies Greek and Norse mythology
Yep.
like it's the fucking Bible. What's up?
Go on.
Same here. I was gonna agree with that.
Yeah, and he is just an asshole. And literally, the way the story goes, because I actually wrote a thesis about this, is when it was time for them to basically separate, various things, like when Gaia and then because when Gaia basically was like, y'all need to figure shit out and send the kids to go do whatever they did. Basically, the brothers was just like, hey, yeah, let's go talk. Hades, you stand over there for a minute.
Watch the door for a second.
Yeah, we got something cool for you. And they was like, you take this, you take that, we take that. And let's tell his brother this shit down here is actually really, really cool, but we ain't gonna tell him it's fucked up until he's on the way down. Ready? Go! Hey, you finna get the underworld. What's the underworld? Oh, it sounds really cool. You see on the way down, go, oh, by the way, nigga, you fucked up. And that's basically how it went.
Hope you like dead
Even
people.
worse. He's been sitting in his father's stomach for I don't know how long.
Just
He comes out, he's free, and he gets to enjoy the open world, and the next thing you know, he has to go down in the darkness to the catacombs of the underworld.
And it's just
that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you go from being eaten by your own daddy to now, you know, they gonna say, well, hey, now
was it Kronos?
Yeah, Kronos was
Kronos,
that. Yeah, Kronos and Gaia basically are their parents. And it's just one of those things to where it's just like, that's the ultimate dick siblings.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone's ever had dick siblings, but it's just like, my God, when your own siblings, who mind you, all came from the same situation. It's not like, because although Zeus was kind of babied a bit, you know, he got fucked over too. But when they all get together and say, hey, bro, hey, man, let's all stick together, man. We all family. Yeah. Hades like, I want to play fuck you, little nigga. It's like, really? Like, so it's like with Hades, I am so on his side because not only did he get dicked over, he also is one dude who made the best out of a fucked up situation.
Yes, he did.
Like he took the underworld and he actually got the underworld in order. That's another thing that a lot of people don't understand of what he did is the underworld was an absolute fucking chaos. I mean, not only just Titans and other demigods and other shit was like going on.
DMV in that bitch.
I mean, it really was. I mean, that was the fucking ninth circle of hell before the DMV got invented. You know, and it was one of those things to where he literally said, well, I got a fucked up job. My brothers are assholes. My parents don't give a goddamn fuck because they didn't lock my daddy up. My mama's just like, well, I'm Earth. Fuck y'all. You know, and I'm going to just do what I want. Well, you know what? I got a fucked up job. I'm going to do it right anyway. Okay, it's a dirty job. Somebody got to do it.
And compared to the other gods who had numerous affairs, who were cruel to humanity, Hades has the cleanest track record.
That was
and depending on how, because there's so many different versions of different myths. Depending on the version you read about him in Persephone, there are some where she wanted to stay with him forever. That she wasn't, because there are versions where she was raped and going against her will, and then there are others where no, she wanted to stay with him.
Yeah.
And again, when you look at Zeus, he had multiple affairs, and it's horrible. Like, okay, I maybe it's a wrong comparison, but I almost like to think he was the Harvey Weinstein of mythology.
What? Dude, he was.
He was.
Okay, if we're gonna be real about Zeus, because it's funny, when I wrote my thesis about Zeus, my professor was so mad, but at the same time he couldn't disagree because he was a Zeus ridiculous ass. I was like, I can't stand fucking Zeus. Zeus is an idiot. Because who I actually love in Greek mythology, and yes, we're going on another tangent, I don't give a fuck. I love Medusa.
Oh,
I love
another
her.
good one.
She has a really awesome story. And another one who got fucked over. Because she was literally a woman who, first of all, she was fine as fuck. Before she became, like, fucked up. She was, ooh, who the, that was a good looking woman.
That snake hair, she always had that.
Shut up. You know, but she was another one who got fucked over by the gods, minding her own goddamn business. And then there's the funny thing about it. She was probably one of the chillest people after she got fucked over. Because after she got messed up, she literally went away to mind her business. The only reason why all these soldiers got killed, because they came to her house fucking with her.
Nope.
They thought she was a monster, and they wanted to kill her.
Yeah, and she was just like, y'all, okay, I know I'm ugly now, but I'm trying to...
am over here.
Exactly.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Oh, and then add insult to injury, too, when Medusa, before her curse... she was actually, what was she, like a priestess, or she was in servitude to their patron goddess.
Exactly.
It was Aphrodite, and then Poseidon comes over, and I don't know if it's rape or if she acquiesced.
No, he did.
But he rapes her, so she didn't even do anything wrong. She was devoted servant to her.
And then
patron.
Aphrodite got pissed off at her because she got raped, and it was like, and that was the thing about like some of these royal dudes. I'm like, y'all niggas don't want to ask y'all guys. They might say yes.
Yeah.
How about you try asking first? Like, yeah. So like with Hades getting back on track, like Hades,
on track.
I really just saw as a dude who got a bad fucking job and got a bad rep from his brothers and really made the best of it. Because it's also a funny thing of how, and although they did fuck it up in the live action movies a little bit, the more recent ones, of how when Hades came and actually did help and save his brother, but Hades actually did come and help his brothers.
Ray Fiennes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hades actually helped his brothers a lot. A whole lot. And they never fucking thanked him for it. They never thanked him. It was like, oh, thank you for $5. I needed that. Bye. Not a thank you, nigga. Like, I came from the underworld after y'all out and gave me this fucked up job. Like it just, and
I
so
didn't have to do nothing.
basically, it just like they were just so fucked up to him. It was just like really, but yeah. And then of course the Disney version of Hercules and James Woods. I just think he really played that role so well because you couldn't dislike him.
No.
Like you couldn't. It was like it's James Woods.
Kind of rooting for him.
Yeah, basically.
Kinda.
I was like, okay, Hercules is a musclehead. He's an idiot. Like, just fuck him. And then he's after a bitch that got fucked up from another dude who don't really want him, and she's gonna fuck him over later on down the road. But we'll find that out later. And then they made literally like Hades and fucking Hera good guys, and I was like, Hera's a bitch too. Although she's understandably a bitch because her daddy and baby daddy's
Hades or
husband
Zeus?
is a no Hera.
Oh.
Yeah, because Hera's just she.
You understand why, but
Oh yeah. I mean,
But
well,
it
yeah.
doesn't make it
The
any
reason,
better.
not an excuse.
I know. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, but again, they don't just do it for the sake of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because Hera is one of them. Just like my husband is a dick. All my brother-in-laws are dicks. So I'm just gonna be a dick too.
Sit here and eat cow sacrifice.
Basically, so so to me, I thought Hades was awesome. So next one up is Ursula. Yeah, so Ursula, as lovely and fucked up and disturbingly introduced last week by our Sam.
Sorry.
Don't apologize!
We have a show
that still got me
It's
fucked up.
it's
That
what
still got
my
me fucked
It
up.
was my question about her that I'm sorry for.
It's your question of her that gave us this awesome fucking episode about.
Okay, fine.
Madam, you
Smooth.
forget where you are.
I mean, it's like, have you ever been on this show before? Disturbing is what we do, and fuck, yeah.
Never have I ever been so not offended.
No, you have to be offended on behalf of someone else. God, let me not even start
start
that.
on that shit.
Anyways, so Ursula, another very interesting villain, I say, because this is a woman that, for the most part, was minding her business before Triton's spoiled ass, dumbass, ignorant ass child came to fuck with her. And what happened? What? Okay, no, I can't stand Ariel for a lot of reasons.
Spoiled ass,
For a
ignorant
lot of
ass,
reasons.
ass to the ass having.
Like, I can have a whole episode on why I hate Frozen and The Little Mermaid. A whole episode. I can just go.
What about
in.
Brave?
Next week on Executive Geek
Brave is
Roundtable.
my shit. Brave is my shit. But anyways, so I know next episode. Why Jarrell hates Ariel and Elsa. But yeah, so the backstory with Ursula is really interesting because once again, it was one of those situations of Ursula had an entire family and her own little kingdom of people and shit like that were very, very closely tied to Triton. They were all cronies. And basically, I can't remember if they were like tasked by Poseidon to work with Triton or it was some kind of deal they had to where basically their families were kind of together. Something weird happened and Triton fucked her over, killed all her people, and just banished her. So I just want to put that out there.
Were they also octo people?
What?
I don't know. I'm trying to use proper nomenclatures for a sensitive group of people.
I just want you to
people
know.
of the sea.
Had you not said I don't know, I'd have been like, all right, buy it.
Why not just say,
I mean, I know that's what they are, right?
just say humanoid octopi.
Humanoid
But
octopi.
that takes so long.
Humanoid octopi. Sounds like a
Sounds like a damn Mega Man. Octopi.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, my co-hosts have forgot what show they're on, so I'm just going to say it. She's a bitch with 8 legs.
Man, she ain't no spider. What's wrong with you? Shit. Bitch, she
But-
an octopus.
Right? So basically, it's one of those, you get hired for a job, you get along with your coworkers. Yep. One of your coworkers rats you out for something you didn't even do.
And then you slash their tires.
You slash their tires.
Stealing
Then you
boxes.
get fired.
Then you key their car.
And you can't get a job no more. And you can't get a job no more. And I'm like, well, you got, and then check this out. Good 20, 30, 40 years later, his dumbass daughter show up at your door for a favor. Oh, bitch, we about to have some fun. Okay? Because, I mean, you look at it as, I can't wait to get this nigga. This motherfucker done fucked my shit up. They done killed my family. They done bandaged me. And then who the fuck at the door? Go get the fucking dough. All right, so yeah, ooh, I can't wait to get this motherfucker. Who at the goddamn door? Shit, get the dough. And the ill come in. Hey, it's Ariel. Okay, who the fuck is Ariel? It's Triton's daughter. I'm gonna get this bitch.
And he's like, hallelujah.
Come on in, my child.
Okay? Like, literally, it's one of them situations where it's like,
I kind of want to see that. I want to know. I want to see like the 10 minutes.
prior to their encounter.
I need to know. That's how that went down. She's just there playing solitaire, watching her stories. She got Maury on.
Just make that a skit. Just make it a skit. Right here. I'll be flexible. I just need you to be Ursula. This bitch over here about 40 years ago.
bro, you're right. Cause I imagine that's how it went down. She minded her business. Somebody knocking at the door. She like, go get the fucking door. I don't know who's disturbing me. It's Ariel. I know who the fucking Ariel. Tell her to go home. That's Triton's daughter. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let the bitch in. I'll get the tea. Okay?
She's like, I got Maury on DVR. We'll watch this later.
Right? Oh my
We got important
God. So, yo. And it does make you think about, like the quote you just said earlier. Like, what was the exact quote? I don't want to fuck it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
another thing, it was like, is Ursula really a villain, or can this Ariel not read a goddamn contract? It's right there.
And it makes you think, because did anyone force her to sign the contract? No. Did anyone tell
She could have
her?
walked away and nothing would have been that.
And then why did she sign the contract, ladies and gentlemen?
She signed it because she was a young, foolish, unwise. Oh gosh.
Oh no, you gotta be nice about this. I want to hear this. Come on, you go ahead and be
She
nice.
was a spoiled brat.
Not only a spoiled brat, she was a dumbass.
She
Well,
wanted
I
to know
was
what
gonna
that
add
pumpkin
that
spice
too.
be like.
Because this is yet another princess, just like Elsa, who almost killed her entire family over some stupid shit.
No, not the family, the kingdom, the sea.
Yeah, the whole sea. Yeah. Basically, she almost ruined the whole fucking sea over some dumb shit. You know what that dumb shit was?
Trying to get
She
laid.
fell in love with a boy she saw.
She
Not
doesn't
met.
know.
Not met.
Saw.
She didn't meet this nigga. Oh yeah. Yeah, that shit was funny.
You just having a screenshot.
Yeah, I love that. Shit was hilarious. Yeah, y'all, we laughing at a meme. It's a Cinderella meme. This pumpkin spice shit. Shit is fucking hilarious. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, we'll put it on the screen.
Post it up to something.
Yeah, we'll post it on the screen.
It's like a little girl having a crush on Justin Bieber and suddenly realizing, I want him for myself. Do you not know who this asshole is?
Yeah, and then she ended up spending all her mom and dad's money just to fly to New York to go meet the motherfucker. And then almost crashed the whole goddamn plane in the process.
Basically.
And it's like, you almost killed your entire kingdom for a dude you saw. You didn't even meet this motherfucker yet.
First of all, he can have some horrible shit going on.
Like,
right here.
seriously. And it's like,
he might have like 5 nipples.
not only does she not know this dude, but it's like, you never met him, you never saw him. Like, and that's the thing that gets me. Especially when a lot of people say, or a lot of ladies, I would say, particularly, Ariel is my favorite Disney princess. I want to be so much like her. And I go,
why you want to be basic though?
And that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, so
Jasmine.
I'm like, so you exactly. So you want to be a young idiot girl who doesn't listen to her parents, who damn near kills her entire way of life for a dude she just saw. You didn't even meet him. You just saw him. What's up?
She doesn't even change by the end of the movie.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't
No
change.
Person.
Yeah.
There's no evolution, no arc, nothing.
You're not my real dad.
And then Ursula still gets murked because of this dumb bitch. And I'm just like, so Ursula now, last of her kind, gets killed because of this dumb shit.
Octopeople.
She is not the last of her kind until the sequel.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about the guy.
There's a sequel?
Oh, yes.
There's 2 of them, right? Isn't there like 2
sister?
sequels?
No, we got a sequel and then a prequel. to
Oh,
find out what
yeah,
happened
you're
to
right,
the
you're
mom.
right.
And now,
You're
then
right,
we
you're
know why. Now, then we find out why Triton hates humans.
Yes. Yeah. Which I thought was really cool when they finally explained all that background. But it was also one of those things to where your dad gave you a good reason why this shit is the way it is. And you just want to rebel, not listen. And it's fine being a rebellious teenager. We all get that. That's fine. But literally putting your people in danger.
Most teenagers ain't about to have their whole like society genocided because they want to get some land walker dick.
Like basically of a nigga you ain't met yet. Like
Land penis.
I don't understand if you met this dude and like y'all got to know each other, y'all had a relationship, and basically, but daddy was like, I can't date you, so fine. But I'm gonna try to run away and be with you. I would get that. But I saw him. I want to change my whole life. What? What?
He might not even be into you.
Right.
He's like,
And why did he like her? Because she couldn't walk. Basically, she was disabled and couldn't speak. That's why because the bitch couldn't walk and couldn't talk. So he likes some dumb and wobbly in the legs. And shit that tells you everything about Eric.
She can't run away. She can't.
He likes silent, wobbly bitches. And it's like, what?
I'm not saying, like, if that ain't a red flag for her, it's like, oh, it's cool, daddy. I'm just crippled and can't talk. Just the way I like it.
It's like, wait a minute. Hold on. How did we get here?
it's like she's like asking him for Stockholm.
Right.
She's just like, no, I want that. I want that.
It's raping time.
I just don't get it. Like, and then I go, yeah, Ursula, she should have killed all these motherfuckers. Because these some stupid ass people.
I just want, like, a size so Ursula sit out there is like, ha, yeah, she about to get fucked anyway.
Yeah, just,
like, that's her revenge there. It's like, you know what your daughter's doing right now?
I would love to see a Disney compilation film of, like, villain perspective mini stories.
Yeah.
Things that either happened, like, before, during, or some after, like the ones that lived and shit.
Yeah.
I'll just go, yeah, I saw that shit coming. I set that motherfucker up.
Tangent. Look at Captain Hook.
Oh. Well, see, Captain Hook, I can't really be on his side because he's just this case of a motherfucker that just couldn't let it go.
No,
Okay.
Oh, never mind. Cut my hand off. It's okay.
No, okay, this is the thing. I understand this motherfucker cut your hand off, okay? And it was a stupid little kid and you want to beat his ass. But at some point you gotta go, okay, you know what? I tried
That's true.
and tried and tried,
still
switch it up,
sucks.
and tried. Alligator got my ass, switch it up, and tried.
Okay, he
Little
doesn't
kids
know when
keep
to
beating
quit,
my
but
yeah,
still,
switch it up.
You gotta admit though.
He's got that shonen spirit. Anime's taught us this. Now, one day, that little immortal child's gonna go on his side like Goku, and then, no, it's not gonna happen. Never mind, you're right.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, because it's almost slightly like pedophilic. Because it's like, why are you messing with these kids? Leave them goddamn kids alone. They don't want nothing to do with you. Okay, he only cut your hand off
Listen
because
to Pink Floyd.
yeah, just
Leave them kids alone.
Like,
So-
leave
Can you
Peter
not see your
alone.
first mate is just willing to give himself over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, like, oh, but
I got me fucked up thinking about this now.
dude. Okay, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just letting y'all know when y'all go watch like Disney movies now, you're gonna be all fucked up.
Able to
You'll be
watch them
all-
the same again.
Yeah,
No doubt.
because I'm gonna also do an episode. There's gonna be a deep character analysis of a lot of Disney characters. It's gonna just fuck all y'all shit up, especially all the characters of Winnie the Pooh.
You want to hear like a really weird?
Yes.
I got stories.
There was a really weird like fan theory that I heard about Peter Pan, where it's like Captain Hook was one of the kids.
I've
Like,
heard that one.
Peter Pan's like a demon or something, and
He
he
kidnaps them.
Yeah.
Well, in the book, in the story with the novel, they said that Peter Pan, he was the only one that was immortal. All the kids would grow up, and he'd have to kill them. He would tell them that.
What?
Yeah.
And Hook was like they would become pirates to like not be killed by Peter Pan and fight Peter Pan.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
I would pay good ass money to
I
see
would
that
watch the
movie.
shit out of that.
Dude,
want
like
dark
especially
Peter Pan.
as an adult.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I want to see that movie.
Yeah.
Like
That'd be the best
now.
M. Night Shyamalan. So
Yeah,
like,
okay, twist.
so like quarter way through the movie's like, by the way.
Twist. The parents, the Darlings, actually had met on the island when they were kids, and they were one of the lucky few to make it back to the human world. And when they find out that their children are in Neverland,
Oh,
I would
Netflix.
I'd watch
You're
it.
welcome.
I would watch that.
Netflix,
Pay
get
us.
on it.
Pay us.
Pay us, dude. That's fucking dope.
And there's your Captain Hook.
Wow. Yeah.
I hate Peter Pan.
And your
Shit.
Smee.
My favorite line of the animated
I'm
movie.
motherfucking
Smee,
Smee.
skips across the water. I still laughing. I still this nigga skipping on the water. Oh my God. And on that note,
When he shuts the mouth.
right. I saw that shit when I was a kid, and I probably laughed so hard in the theater. Everyone was like, "What is wrong with this
It's
kid?"
funny.
And it was, I said, "Cause dude, he's skipping like a rock, and he's stuttering." Like, cause the bad part about it is, at that time in school, I had a little kid who like always had a really bad stutter, and I immediately thought about that kid. I was like, "Oh my God, that's James." I'm like,
His name is James Hook.
right? Oh no!
James, you watching that? We playing. Don't come and kill
I'm
us.
going to hell with gasoline draws, Jesus! Oh, I can't do it! Oh, Jesus, I'm sweating! Oh my God! All right, y'all, it's time for Full Mouth Trivia. Okay, we need some fruit, and we need to put some food in y'all mouth with this baby seal. God damn it!
He's gonna get the fruit. James, watch right now. It's
Man, oh, James gonna come. James is gonna come beat my ass. I did not make that connection. James, if you watching this, bruh, I'm sorry. You was always my boy. But damn, bruh. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, you see the fruit, you see the whipped cream, so you know what time it is. It is time for Full Mouth Trivia. You know the rules. I ask a series of multiple choice questions. If you get them correct, you now have to put food in your mouth. If you get them incorrect, you have to put food and whipped cream in your mouth and still play the game and proceed to speak. Question number 1, and mind you, this is all Disney trivia, so y'all better get it. If y'all don't get this 100%, you're no longer Disney babies. Okay? Burn all your VHSs, get rid of all your blankets.
Your blankets.
Bro, I had to watch when I was a kid, like my little cousin Christy, I put you on blast. She made me watch fucking Little Mermaid.
Oh,
Like
God.
I've seen that movie like hundreds of times probably. I don't know. Maybe
At least she didn't make you watch the cartoon series.
See, I was a weird kid because although I grew
And
up
they knew about
watching a
Ursula
lot of
already
Disney
then.
movies, you know the movie
Remember
I
Ursula
actually
had
watched
cameos
a
in the
lot
series.
What?
was Terminator 2.
I distinctly
Yes.
remember there was an episode where
I went
Ariel
through
was
6
fixated on a
VHS
stupid
tapes.
bracelet. And it fell down like some kind of vortex in the sea. And she had to go down and get there, and Ursula was able to
Cooks
trigger
Leon
it,
should
so
do
like
this.
she was gonna straight up murder Ariel.
He sprinted the
But
fucking
she
door.
didn't know that Ariel was Triton's daughter. Man never actually met, she just knew.
All right, you guys, get to the trivia. Because now we all distracted. I love it.
Everything up.
All right, cool. Question number 1.
5.
Fruit in your mouth.
Damn. Take a big piece.
Nigga!
Hold on.
No, he good for now. All right. Aladdin took place in the fictional city of Agrabah, but the city was based off of what real-life kingdom? Was it A, Dubai? Was it B, Arabia? Was it C, Afghanistan? Or was it D, Iran?
Arabia.
Iran?
Arabia.
I feel like this is some sick shit. Arabia.
All of you are wrong. It's actually Dubai. Ooh, your mouth. Ooh, in your mouth.
I'm gonna chew this little piece right here.
Take this little.
You want to know why?
Take a little break.
None of those other places have sheiks.
Holy shit, you're right.
Yep.
Arabian, that's my black ass.
Plus, there hasn't been a place called Arabia for at least about probably 100 years now.
Man, but
So.
that's okay.
What's he doing?
I spent the goddamn 1,000 motherfucking years ago. It was nothing to happen.
Hey, wait, you guys didn't put the whipped cream on.
Yeah, what y'all doing? Put whipped cream in your goddamn mouth. Y'all sitting here trying to hold it and shit. Well. Vulcan mind meld right here. Vulcan mind meld right here. Put it in there. All right, question number 2. What Disney movie? Okay, what Disney movie features one of the villains named Skies? Is it A, Pete's Dragon? Is it B, Sword in the Stone? Is it C, the Aristocats? Or is it D, Oliver and Company?
Wait, what's the question?
Oh.
What's the question?
Which Disney movie features the villain named Skies? Anyone? Someone? A, B, C,
I'm
or
going
D?
Peach Dragon.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go Peace Drive. I'm gonna say Aristocats.
Okay.
I'm going
I'm going with Oliver and Company.
Okay.
with D.
Oliver and Company.
Yeah.
You two got it right. Watch it.
Yeah.
One of the most underrated, often forgotten
Billy
Disney
Joel, man.
films, right? I mean, that movie was so good, and the soundtrack. The soundtrack, like, dude, I listened to the soundtrack. I was like,
I remember it being a good movie.
I forgot how fucking
Yeah.
good this soundtrack was. That soundtrack
Damn.
was dope. And get it
No, let me just rap some NWA for real quick.
right.
Say fuck the police, come straight from the underground. That give me a ringtone.
I
every
love
day.
my
Crazy
job.
motherfucker named
I
Julian.
love my job. All right. Number 3.
Fine.
All right, and all you motherfuckers better get this one. If y'all don't get this one, all y'all fired.
Pocahontas.
Okay.
And I'm scared.
Twitter
Right.
you shut up. Twitter pattern is described as what and in what Disney movie? Fun and in Alice in Wonderland, love and in Bambi, fun and in Fox and the Hound, or fear in 101 Dalmatians.
Nigga, that's Bambi in love.
Bambi, I think.
Bambi.
Y'all got it right.
I use Twitter pated my
right?
my second time off and I got damn Twitter pated and
I
shit.
was so
Right?
scared. I was like, I want to say Bambi.
You better have said Bambi. I kind of gave y'all the easy one because I'm like, if you don't know what fucking Twitter pated is, you just need to just go home right now. All right, so number 4.
Follow me on Twitter, man.
What was the name of the alligator in Peter Pan? Was it Croc the Clock? Was it Tick-Tock the alligator? Was it Tick-Tock the crocodile? Was it Tick-Tock the evil croc?
TikTok evil crop.
Okay.
TikTok Croc.
Talk the croc.
All got it right. There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
girl.
All
You
right.
can talk the talk, but can you talk
Never
the talk?
Croc.
Croc.
Yeah.
Talk the croc-
There's a joke in there somewhere.
I look like I
Yeah.
look like I called.
Please, yeah, because you fucked up that joke. Keep going until you find it, motherfucker. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Number 5.
Quit crying.
In the Disney movie The Rescuers, what is their motto? We never fail to help. We are always up for the task. We never fail to do what's right. We will never fail, ever.
It's gonna be fucked up. I never finished this movie as a child.
Oh man, we need that.
I'm
Come
going
on.
with B.
Okay?
What is that again?
Okay. We never fail to help. We are always up for the task. We never fail to do what's right. We will never fail, ever.
Up for the task.
I already look like George Foreman hit me in the face after I called him a bitch, so I'm gonna go with B.
Okay?
I'm looking like the rumble in the jungle.
Yeah, girl.
Up for the task.
All of you are wrong.
God
It is
damn
C.
it.
We will never fail to do what's right.
Yeah.
Food in your mouth.
Hey.
Food in your mouth. Food in your mouth. Food in your mouth.
Melon.
Come on.
It's all huge.
Come on, yeah.
More
What
than she
the fuck
said.
you waiting on? You better
Give
put
me
that
the
shit in your
cream.
mouth, motherfucker. Shit. Waiting and shit. Come on. Motherfucker, you look like you got herpes of the mouth and shit. You all fucked up.
I'm really good.
You just look so fucked up. Oh my god. You just, look like Michael, look like fucking Mike Tyson's punch out.
I look like I just walked around the street like
Basically,
Looking like
do.
glass Julian.
Oh my god. Wait,
oh my
wait.
god.
No, I need another one. Just hold that pose. I'm just gonna edit this shit and just
We
shit
almost done, y'all. Hold on, shit.
Wait, smile. He kind of looks like Jack Nicholson.
Damn poor picture.
He kind of looks like Jack Nicholson's Joker without the makeup on. Oh, no, wait, you know when you see Jack Nicholson without the light?
When he's in the office,
Yes.
Oh, I'm sweating, Jesus. Oh my God, I'm sweating. I love you all.
I'm sending that to you right now.
Well, y'all, we got 2 more questions.
Oh,
Two
man.
more questions. All
I'm doing
right.
another one.
All right. All right. Question number 6.
Don't look at me.
Oh God.
I'm gonna lie, I can't look at him.
I know. Well, stop looking at him, damn it! I'm trying to finish the fucking game.
Look like you got poison ivy.
Right? All right. Simba is Swahili for what? Is it? Shut up! I'm done to the game. Simba is Swahili for what? Is it A, cub, B, prince, C, king, or D, lion?
I'm a lion.
Okay.
Lion?
Okay.
Lime.
I'll go with lion.
All right, y'all all got it right. See, you got a little bit of mercy.
Yeah, what kind of
All
forever?
right, so this is the last one. It's a fun one.
Just
Okay.
don't look at him, guys.
How many? Are we good? Oh, stop. All right. Here we go.
No.
All right. Last one. How many Disney princesses are
Go.
not actually royalty? Is it A, 1?
Oh, I can't count.
Is it
Oh,
B,
no.
4? Is it... Stop fucking with her! Is it A, 1, B, 4, C, 7, or D, 8?
Oh, 4.
Okay?
7.
Okay?
8.
Okay? All right, you two got 7. Everybody else put food in your mouth. Put food in your mouth. And
Why did
they
I think
are
of the Dragon Ball?
Esmeralda, Megara, Nani, Mulan, Jane Porter, Elizabeth Swan, and Alice. They are not actually royalty.
Hey, you
Although they
forgot
are
another one.
Lady
Kathleen
Jack.
Kennedy.
Kathy. I ain't talking to your ass. Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for the game. I know this man finna go into a coma over this bitch over here. I love you guys. I will see you all next week for another. For another episode where we discuss our childhood shows that defined our lives, changed our lives, and made us who we are today while they give each other diabetes. So, ladies and gentlemen, for Bill, for Sam, for Mike, for Julian, for Jason, for Alan, and everyone here at Fonco Studios, and thank you Logitech, and thank you Canon, and thank you everyone at EXGP. We will see you guys next week. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell up out of here. Peace.
Hold on. Jason, you gotta look at this.